Hello, people of the internet. It's your boy, Skinny Penis, with a replay, a bit of an older replay, few days or a week old, from Commissar, the new steel cruiser that's available. Very awkward design. Very weird ship. But hey, we're here to talk a bit about it. The game is obviously a arms race game on loops, so the damage will be a bit inflated. It, I think, was my actual first game in this boat in general. I haven't really played it that much. I think like 10 to 15 games, 10 games or so. It's not very interesting. I will also have a video up where I play it live, where you can see that there are definitely games where you don't do a lot, but then there are other games where you shit damage and you can abuse the planes for spotting. So, well, what's the gimmick of the ship? It's basically like a glass cannon extravaganza. Guns are insane. You have 240mm guns, which means you have also 40mm HE pen. It's Russian guns, so your AP pen at range, mid-range is extremely strong. You definitely Citadel cruisers, and close range you can even Citadel BBs, though you kind of never want to be close range. And the guns have improved penetration angles. So like similar to, or the AP performs similar to Petro or Moskva when, Petro or Stalin when people are angled. And they don't ricochet as often as like Moskva. Your penetration is not on the level of a Petro or a Stalingrad. It's better than Moskva, but only slightly. Still enough penetration to basically smash flap broadside cruisers wherever they are. And obviously, reload is extremely fast for the, let's say, power or strength of the guns. The only limiting factor is the base range, so therefore here we're also running range mod, and I will continuously run range mod. The downside of the ship is obviously, since it gets great guns and the planes, is the tankiness, the hull. It's a very slim and low in the water hull, but you have no armor whatsoever. Theoretically you have a bit of armor against non-30 overmatching BBs, since your side and deck plating is 30. But your as and O section are insanely large, you don't have icebreaker, so anything close range, mid-range, or 30 overmatch just shits an insane amount of damage into you, and your base HP pool isn't like the highest. You have 48k. You have fast heals though, so you can kind of make up for it unless you eat massive citadels. And well, the supposedly main gimmick of the ship is the planes. Actually really fast recharging planes. It's nearly an Akimov strike, 6 planes, not 7, and you will most likely always lose 1 plane. So you have like a 2/3 of a strike of an Akimov basically. The thing is though, as I said, I will also have a video where I play it live. You don't focus on the planes. The planes are a nice gimmick to have, so you can spot, like as you can see here, like I'm spotting everything in spawn in the beginning. Mid-game, late game, you can use the planes to spot destroyers, or yeah, even spot like movement of the enemy, but you should not invest any sort of points into, or like specifically the module to increase your plane HP or effectiveness. The guns are what makes this ship good. Like the guns, their range effectiveness, they have normal cruiser dispersion, their AP, their HE penetration, their HE fire chance. They have 23% fire chance with demo expert and flags, which is a lot of fires. So like in this game, for example, I still had the plane module instead of propulsion module. So my ship has extremely shit maneuverability. And I definitely figured out that like range mod and propulsion mod is the way to go. And you use it as a mid to long range gun platform, because it really just accelerates at doing that. The gun performance at mid to long ranges is insane compared to other cruisers. Also, like specifically the AP is crazy. I've had multiple 30 to like even sometimes 32, 33k volleys on flat broadside cruisers. Like you are murdering them. Basically also like light cruisers, you have to remember, get overmatched by these guns. So like Brisbane, Minnow, Smolensk, Kolber. All of these ships you can basically ignore and bypass their armor, and you have improved penetration angles and flat arcs. So those ships are pretty unplayable into a Commissar, as long as you have spotting, obviously. But then again, as I said, like you're mostly in kite mid-range, you have great guns or range effectiveness, you can use your planes to spot for yourself. So yeah, that's definitely the upside. As you can see here, like 6.8k from 10 overpens. I hit 10 out of 12 shells at 10 kilometers on a speed boosting French TD. The gun performance is great. You will see it here. I mean, sure, it's arms race, so the damage will be inflated soon-ish. Like we will get some damage or reload buffs probably as well. But you will see how hard I can punch flat broadside or slightly angled up BBs with AP, and also how many fires I can theoretically set with the main guns. And it's super easy to hit. The problem though is, obviously with this boat, you're basically forced to always stay in kite. You can't push. I played it only a few games, but it's very, very rare that you can actually push up. Your gun angles in kite are already bad. Your push angles are even worse given your armor. Your turning circle is shit. It's like... And you basically have you don't have an icebreaker and you don't have nose plating. You have 25mm, which means 380s and above overmatch that. So if you're going close to any sort of BB, they can always one-shot you through the nose. If you're like super close, like we say, like, say 4 kilometers and below, you're probably gonna get one-shot by most BBs. It's too likely. But you don't have to. I mean, the point is like you use your fast heals from range. You can use your planes for spotting if you need it. And yeah, that's also, once again, I can only stress that I don't spec the planes anymore. I think I have the plane skill on the commander, like the 2-pointer that gives you a bit more reload, because I also take demolition expert. So instead of taking like top grade, I take demo expert and the plane skill, which is whatever, but like the demo expert probably even gives you a bit more than top grade, because you're just forced to stay so far away. Like you can't just simply tank 8, 9, 10 kilometers in front of an enemy BB or multiple enemy BBs. It's just not possible. But yeah, as you can see here, we're switching to AP. This AP is extremely, extremely strong against ships with flat side platings. Like the Vermont here, the Yamato and the Colombo are perfect targets. I can do such an insane amount of damage to them when I hit their side platings. I have the penetration for it. And even if they slightly angle, I still have the improved pen angles to still keep penning them. So yeah, the damage output on the guns is insane. And that's also what I would play the ship for. And you basically, you use see, like he was angled 5k, 5.1k from 2 turrets. It's just weird. What I can say though is I would use the planes in only in scenarios where you really need the spotting yourself. Like I've had that multiple times. It happens super often. Instead of having a radar, you just have to get used to using your planes to spot DDs. And since the planes have this weird delay, you can basically just use the planes to drop above a destroyer, and then since they have the weird delay until they drop, they will spot the DD for very, very long. Like you will have time to go back to your ship, point your guns, click and shoot. And other people in your team obviously too. But yeah, definitely just using the planes to spot. I'm not really like looking forward to dealing damage with them too much. It's not worth it. The guns are just so much better. And here you can see the slightly angled Salem has basically no way of mitigating my sittles. I mean, now he turns flat, so obviously he's gonna eat sits, but before that, slightly angled, the improved penetration angles are kicking in. As you can see here, like, sure, we have 10% more damage, but I'm actually getting unlucky here, only getting like 1 sit per volley. But you can see the damage. It's insane. The guns are actually really, really, really cracked. And these fights at 13 kilometers, when you're kited, other cruisers can't really win against you. I mean, I could also just run away, use my fast heals and sling HE if he angles, and I would probably still win. Also, like, you're remarkably slim and small, so cruisers have a decently hard time. As you can see here though, I don't run the propulsion mod, so this entire engagement is a bit fucked for me, because my ship just won't move backwards or forwards, and that's the reason I also switched off it, and I wouldn't take it anymore. It's not that worth it, honestly. Though you can see the gameplay, it's definitely extremely passive. I mean, in this scenario here, since my teammates inted on this side of the map and there's tons of BBs and shit, it's obviously needed, kind of, that someone at least kites in front of them or holds some sort of map control. So that's me. I'm just like kiting in front of them, trying to hold them back, giving them a target, putting damage on the down at range. And well, now you will see how brain damaged the AP actually is. I mean, that's a 16 km Vermont. I won't citadel him here, that's for sure, but the amount of penetration damage I can put into him is really cracked. And then afterwards the Yamato, obviously. Like, yeah, that's what I would play the boat for. The guns, definitely not the planes. The planes are It's way better if you focus on your position and your guns to be in the game, and then like you use the planes as said when you really need it, because then it's a great gimmick, even broken, the gimmick itself, because like plane spotting, obviously a bit unfair towards enemy destroyers or cruisers that want to use concealment, even battleships that want to use concealment, but you can spot out a lot. But in this game, for example, I never used it. I just sit and kite and I hold them. The gameplay you can see here is also the reason I wouldn't really play that ship that much more. The gameplay is exquisitely boring. You're not really like an engaging ship that can have interesting, funny moments, close range brawl, or I don't know, make weird moves. If you get lit, you probably die if there's too many BBs looking at you. You also have to remember the thing has over 1,000 meters turning circle, which is carrier / super BB level of turning. You're just not moving. You're just maneuverable as fuck. Now you can see, by the way, with triple reload, as said, obviously it's arms race, so the damage will be exquisitely inflated. Still doesn't change the fire chance, though, that you will probably witness here. If I remember correctly, I'm going to probably light that Yamato up real fast. You do have 23%. It's similar as Cerberus, where it just gets obscene fire chance. Here you can also see like the dispersion is definitely normal cruiser. Like Petro at 16 wouldn't get these kind of dispersions most of the times. It's definitely like a Moskva-ish dispersion, normal cruiser. And therefore, yeah, the guns are what you should go for. Yeah, getting fires, kiting. I'm actually turning in here because the game is over, so I'm risking the flat broadside shot. I don't really care. It's very unlikely that, or I'm chancing it on him, just like not being able to aim properly. For me, it's like either I turn in now and get the Yamato, or somehow survive the Yamato, and then I go to the Vermont, or otherwise, if I would keep kiting here, I wouldn't keep shit in range. But here you can see now the damage is gonna stack up. First of all, triple fire, and now the damage is gonna stack up exquisitely fast. Both BBs are going to be milked by me. And, well, yeah, the damage output is just obscene. I like it a lot, in terms of guns. I don't like it in terms of how the hull has to be positioned on the map with the kiting and stuff. Is it worth 30,000? Probably not. I mean, I also got it with a steel camo. Is it worth the steel? Most likely not really. I would assume that getting it with a coupon later on is probably the smartest choice. Like, you're not really missing out on some sort of super cracked and busted ship here. It has to be played extremely cautious, more boring approach to the game, more passive approach to the game. So, yeah, I don't know. If you have other steel ships still available that you may want to acquire, then probably those are better choices. A bit more engaging gameplay than this one here. And just get it with the coupon after if you really want to. But yeah, you're not like really missing out on anything. Like, you don't have to have the fear of missing out on this car. Well, the game is going to end now. You can see here now the AP hits come in. That was 8 point something and 7 point something K combined. It's like we're 14-15k AP volley. You can see here another 15k nearly combined. Like the guns are great. But you can also see here the way I have to park my ship, right? I have to be nearly flat broadside to him to use all my guns. Well, like, I mean, it's not flat, but basically I have no armor in a fight against the Vermont. So yeah, this is like, I'm showing way too much side or hull in general for this guy to not like get massive damage on me if he wanted to. But yeah, as you can see, that's why you have to play mid to long range and very passive, because you want to be this kind of pincering ship that is ignored by the enemy and then yeah, gets to magically pump out an insane amount of damage with guns from a weird angle or something when they ignore you, or from range when they focus on someone else. But you don't want to be the center of attention ever. And you could also see that I definitely didn't really use my planes. I think I started them 2 times in this game, in the beginning to spot out what's going into the flank, and late to get a drop on the Yamato to maybe have a fire, and like I was so far away that I didn't really have my guns on any target anyways. 280k in arms race, obviously we had tons of damage buffs, so it's way inflated. The ship can definitely provide tons of 200k plus games, even 300. It's just the nature of the ship that you will be in the game for very long because you're so passive and you have the damage output. So that's very normal, let's say. As said, there will also be a video where I play it live, and then you will see the duality of the ship, kind of, where you will also have a lot of games where you don't really do anything, because basically it's like if your team abandons you or some of your teammates int and you're like left alone, you have no real means to ever push or pressure the enemy because your hull just doesn't allow for it. Anything that looks at you funny kind of fucks you. You can see it, like the AP damage is just obscene. Fires, obviously tons of fires, like we had 10 fires on 100 hits. Fire chance is great. And yeah, like those BBs are the perfect BBs for me. They all have flat side platings that I can penetrate. Something like a Kreml or German BBs would be a bit more trolly. Like they have slightly sloped side platings, higher armor, or like better armored side platings and stuff, so that you can have pretty bad volleys from time to time at mid to long range. But like a Colombo or a Yamato, for example, Vermont is like perfect. Flat sides, you have improved penetration angles, massive freeboard. Like that's really cracked for your AP. Well, yeah, that's it for the Commissar. As said, like, don't really have to get it instantaneously. Like, you're not really missing out on anything turbo busted here. Weird, let's say, glass cannon that they introduced here. Definitely not worth it to invest into the planes too much or even play them too much. Like by the time or in the time you use planes to find something or drop something, you can probably shoot 4 to 5 main gun volleys, sometimes more, because you have to fly so long and get the angle of approach. So in those scenarios, it's just better to keep using your guns. Like in this game, why use the planes when I can deal way more damage with the guns? And yeah, basically just use the planes as some sort of budget radar against destroyers or enemy rotations when nothing happens, or when you're pushing up or kiting away and nothing is spotted. You can just spot for yourself. That's kind of where I use it, and it's really good. So yeah, see you in the next video. Hope you liked it, and enjoy it when I play it live, because yeah, there's going to be some shit games, and there's going to be a game that shows again why the plane spotting on the ship can be extremely broken. Until then, see you and have a nice time.